After days at sea, the end of a long journey is in sight for hundreds of migrants. While the political debate over their plight heats up across Europe, 629 people aboard 3 boats are now heading to Spain after being refused entry to both Italy and Malta. But this is only the beginning for this group. After being rescued from the Mediterranean last weekend, rough seas are forecast for the coming days, not to mention a growing political storm. It will take days for the Aquarius to reach Spain. The ship and the 2 Italian boats accompanying it are currently forging past the southern coast of Italy. And that is where we find our correspondent, Anelise Borges, who is the only broadcast journalist on board the vessel since the beginning of the mission. Anelise, it's good to see you there. What do we know so far?
Well, we're currently traveling at 8 knots towards the Spanish port of Valencia with 106 people on board. These are the most vulnerable people, the women, the children, some families and some of the unaccompanied migrants, unaccompanied minors, rather. Right now, the situation is very calm. People are slowly waking up after yet another very trying day for them, but one that they hope at least has set them on their last leg journey to Europe.
They were asked to gather for the important news. After more than 3 days at sea, the idea of finally reaching shore was a relief.
We say, may God continue to bless Spain and bless every other country relating to Europe. Thank you.
Italian authorities agreed to take 500 people aboard a Navy and a Coast Guard ships, vessels that are now escorting Aquarius to the Spanish port of Valencia, a trip that promises to be yet another trying part of this journey.
It will be at least 3.5 days, 3 days and a half. That would be the transit time in good weather condition, but we already know that we will encounter westerly winds, strong westerly winds, so we will be obliged to reduce the speed probably.
Many questions remain about the future of these men and women who found themselves at the heart of one of Europe's biggest immigration controversies. Will they be able to stay in Europe? And if not, what will happen to them? While some pondered those ideas, others already started worrying about the next search and rescue mission. 41 people were rescued off the coast of Libya while attempting the crossing, and 12 died at sea, on the same day that marked the beginning of the end of a dramatic journey for those aboard Aquarius.
So, large sense of relief among the vast majority of the 629 people who have been rescued from the Mediterranean Sea and who are looking forward to finally reaching shore.
And as you mentioned there in your story, Anelise, this is one boat, but there will be others. What will happen to them?
Well, that is a question that has been fueling a political debate, one that has been, the people here aboard have been sheltered from those rescued at sea, at least. Of course, the teams working on board Aquarius, MSF, Doctors Without Borders, and SOS Mediterranean, they have been following this debate very closely, and they have been following the remarks made by different European leaders, including, of course, the French President, Emmanuel Macron, who has accused Italy of being cynical and irresponsible, and said that it was Italy's responsibility to take in all these people. And of course, they have also been following the reaction by the Italian government. Italy's Deputy Premier Luigi Di Maio has reacted to France's comments, saying that he is happy the French have discovered responsibility and that they should open their ports and Italy will send a few people over. Of course, the question now is, will what happened to Aquarius impact the work done by these NGOs in the Mediterranean Sea? Currently, there are 3 humanitarian vessels that conduct this kind of work in what is considered the world's deadliest migration route. So the question now is, will they be able to continue doing the job?
All right, thank you for that, Anelise Borges, live there from on board the Aquarius. Thanks. We just want to show you what's happening right now off the coast of Italy in Catania. These are live pictures of an Italian Coast Guard ship, and we are told there are at least 900 migrants on board. That's what we know so far. They were picked up as part of an EU rescue operation, and this is happening, of course, amid one of Europe's, if not the biggest, migration crisis. And it's also at the heart of a political debate that the EU is trying to resolve. So again, you're looking at live pictures from the coast of Italy, a boat carrying some 900 migrants over there, and we will bring you the latest information as and when we get them. And as the boats that our correspondent Anelise Borges was talking about earlier steam towards Valencia, Euronews journalist Carlos Marlasca was in the Spanish port city to find out what people there think of the latest developments. Nick Wells has the story.
Those who've already made the long journey from Africa to the streets of Valencia have welcomed the decision by the city authorities to take in the 629 passengers on board the Aquarius. They could have a better life than in Africa, at least. I think they can, but it won't be easy. Many locals too are getting behind the city's decision, saying they are proud that the regional authorities have taken the initiative and believing it will boost employment in the city. In my close circle, all of us who've commented on this are totally in favour of the decision by the City Council. It's true that in other areas, on social media, particularly Twitter, I've been able to identify profiles of people who are totally against it, but it's a minority. Valencia first drafted a plan in 2015 to take in Syrian refugees. Although it wasn't possible at the time, the new Spanish government has revived the plan. The European Union must honour its commitments. It must comply with its laws and must comply with international commitments. To refuse to accept refugees into a port is not to respect the commitments of the UN, as those countries that have not done so are well aware. We want to do it because Valencia is a city of solidarity. Valencia is the biggest commercial port in the Mediterranean and the 5th biggest in Europe. But handling a human cargo will be a different challenge altogether.